A day in the life of Pablo Escobar. Immerse yourself in the dark and captivating world of one of the most feared and powerful men in history, Pablo Escobar. Have you ever wondered what a day would go like in the life of the world's richest and most famous drug dealer? From humble beginnings to the height of his criminal empire, his daily routine was as intriguing as his own life story. In this account, we will unveil the 3 key stages in the life of Pablo Escobar and discover how an ordinary man became the leader of the infamous Medellin cartel. From his first criminal acts in the shadows to the expansion of his drug empire, every step of his daily routine was marked by power, wealth, and violence. Delve into the secrets and machinations of a man whose name still rings with fear and fascination in the collective imagination. Welcome once again to this place where the most shocking crime stories come to life. Where mystery and history come together to tell us unique events of the most famous outlaws. Today, get ready to discover what a day in the life of Pablo Escobar was really like. Do not forget to leave your like and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. Let's get started from his early years in crime to becoming the man he was. Pablo Escobar lived an exciting life, and hopefully his daily routine was just as exciting. Pablo Escobar was born on December 1, 1949 in Rio Negro, Colombia. His parents, Abel de Jesus Escobar Echeverri and Hermilda de los Dolores Gaviria Barrio, moved to Envigado, a town near Medellin, shortly after his birth. It was in this place where Pablo spent his childhood years. Despite the popular belief that Escobar was illiterate, the truth is that the cunning criminal had been admitted to a university in Medellin. However, he dropped out without graduating and decided to focus on criminal activities. His choice to turn to crime is believed to have been based on his desire for a better life. Although he died a wealthy person, Paul had humble beginnings. His father worked on a farm and his mother was an elementary school teacher. Considering his background, it is not surprising that Pablo Escobar began to get involved in criminal activities at an early age. In his early years, he specialized in tombstone theft, which he sold to local bootleggers. Over time, he delved into fraud, selling counterfeit cigarettes, lottery tickets, and school diplomas. He even dabbled in car theft. Back then, Pablo operated in the dark, strategizing and working in secret for most of the day. Before joining the world of drug trafficking, Escobar also carried out assignments for large organizations, stealing objects and occasionally serving as a bodyguard. An incident was reported in which he received a sum of 1,000 Colombian pesos for kidnapping an executive in Medellin and demanding a ransom for his release. In his youth, Pablo Escobar had an ambitious goal in mind: to accumulate a fortune of more than 1 million Colombian pesos before he was 22 years old. Instead of looking for a conventional job, he decided to get involved in the world of contraband, working for a well-known trafficker named Alvaro Prieto in the city of Medellin. Over time, Pablo saw his earnings grow until he accumulated an impressive 100 million Colombian pesos in his bank account when he was barely 26 years old. At that moment, he was living a dream come true. During that time, Colombia's neighboring countries, such as Peru, Bolivia, and Ecuador, were known for their coca production, which sparked Escobar's interest in the drug trafficking business. Sensing a lucrative opportunity, he decided to venture into drug smuggling. Thus, in 1975, Pablo began to operate as the leader of the infamous Medellin cartel, a powerful criminal organization that would mark his legacy. However, the life of Pablo Escobar was not without challenges and confrontations with the law. Shortly after establishing the cartel, he and several of his associates were arrested for possession of a considerable amount of narcotic substances as they attempted to smuggle them into Medellin. Although Escobar tried to bribe the authorities to avoid being sentenced, the judges refused to budge. For months, his routine was disrupted by comings and goings to the court, which began to worry him deeply. The prospect of being jailed threatened to undo all the time and effort he had invested in his criminal empire. Aware of the potential consequences, Pablo decided to take drastic measures to protect himself. He ordered the assassination of the arresting officers, which was surprisingly effective and got his case dropped. As the demand for cocaine in America increased exponentially, Pablo was in a prime position to take advantage of this lucrative opportunity. He spent most of his time expanding his smuggling routes and establishing distribution networks in places like California, South Florida, Puerto Rico, and other countries. By the mid-1980s, Pablo Escobar's empire had reached an unprecedented level in the cocaine trade. His influence and wealth were at their height. As his career progressed and he was given new responsibilities, it was to be expected that his daily routine would follow a consistent pattern. It is said that Escobar would get up early in the morning to deal with problems and challenges that arose in his business, especially those that could endanger his empire. He was not a man who liked to take unnecessary risks. In addition to overseeing his vast drug empire, Pablo Escobar devoted part of his time to his political affiliations. These relationships were critical to ensuring the success of his criminal enterprise. At one point, Escobar became so involved in politics that he was named the official representative of the Colombian government during the swearing-in of Felipe González as Prime Minister of Spain. This recognition not only cemented his power, but also his popularity at the height of his career. As his political influence grew, so did his personal life. In March 1976, Pablo married Maria Victoria Henao, a young woman he had met when she was only 15 years old. Despite their family's disapproval, the couple braved all odds and formed a strong union. Together, they had two sons, Juan Pablo, who now calls himself Sebastián Marroquín, and Manuel Escobar. Although he was feared by all, Escobar found a way to balance his family life with his busy daily schedule. She made sure her children were well cared for and spent what little free time she had spending time with them. He even built a property just for his children, where they could enjoy fun games and activities. During his brief moments of rest, Pablo Escobar would visit their vacation homes, often taking his children with him. With an estimated value of $25 billion, it was to be expected that his holdings reflected his wealth. In Colombia, Escobar owned an impressive property known as Hacienda Nápoles. This sprawling 700-acre piece of land featured a mansion valued at $1.63 million, decorated with dinosaur statues and surrounded by artificial lakes. In addition, it housed a soccer field, a tennis court, a helicopter landing strip and even a bullring. But that was not all. Escobar also owned an island called Isla Grande, considered his Caribbean getaway. This paradise island had a luxurious mansion, large patios, a helicopter landing pad and a huge swimming pool. In the life of Pablo Escobar, in addition to his numerous activities, we also find an aspect that surprises many, his apparent dedication to sponsoring projects to help those most in need. This facet generated comparisons with the legendary Robin Hood, who supposedly stole from the rich to give to the poor. However, this altruistic image directly clashed with the reality of the man that Pablo Escobar was. Despite his supposed concern for the less fortunate, Escobar did not hesitate to spend much of his time planning assassinations. Politicians, police officers, and even ordinary citizens who stood in his way became targets of his deadly machinations. An episode that illustrates this cruelty occurred in 1989, when Escobar allegedly blew up a plane just to end the life of an informant. The result was the loss of around 100 innocent lives. Escobar's decisions were far from logic and reason. After years of chasing, the time finally came when the police managed to catch him. After negotiations, Pablo turned himself into the authorities in June 1991. However, his imprisonment was not in a common prison, but in a facility that he himself transformed into his personal luxury prison, the famous Cathedral. This place was equipped with unimaginable amenities, such as a soccer field, a disco with a waterfall, telephones and fax machines, among other luxuries. Although his movement was restricted, Pablo continued to live a life of luxury even behind bars. During his time in prison, Pablo adapted his routine to his new situation. He held high-level meetings at the cathedral and spent much of his time communicating with his son by phone. However, his time in prison came to an abrupt end in July 1992, when he managed to escape just a few days before his transfer to another prison. 4 men from his own cartel are believed to have been killed in their private jailbreak. Escobar's end was getting closer. In December 1993, the authorities discovered his hiding place in Medellin. When he tried to escape, a firefight ensued and he was eventually hit by a bullet. The official version maintains that he was shot, but some reports indicate that he committed suicide to avoid being captured alive. The truth about this aspect of his death may remain a mystery. What is undeniable is that with the death of Pablo Escobar, the Medellin cartel also found its end. His criminal empire collapsed, and although his name lives on in the collective memory, his criminal activities and his impact on society continue to be the subject of debate and reflection. The life of Pablo Escobar is a fascinating and dark portrait of a man who rose from poverty to become one of the most powerful drug traffickers in history. His daily routine was marked by violence, power, and the accumulation of excessive wealth. Yet behind the facade of a ruthless man, we also find surprising complexity. Outlaws, this has been all for today in this report on your trusted crime channel. We hope you found this tale as intriguing as we did. If you liked the video, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to our channel for more interesting content and share your comments and opinions on this impressive topic. Until next time.